I did all my work and then I worked on that guy. Now, here is our chaplain on bike. We gotta get the light just right. All right. So we left off on true metallics on this guy. So we got to jump back on the true metallic game and maybe the wash game here in a second. There's definitely some stuff that's really washable that we may want to wash first just to save time. So let's just do that first. Let's just knock that out. So what we'll do is grab a little... What's what I got here? Got some, I think light tone is the one I like for this. Let's see. Yeah, so this is Army Painter Light Tone. And I'm going to use this to do some nut washing. Remember guys, you always got to wash your nuts. So I go pretty raw dog here. Nocturnal says, not gonna front. I might end up getting down Forgiven hoodie. That's a good one. That's a good drawing. I'm proud of that one. Not as popular as I thought it'd be though. I think that's because the Dark Angel people are butthurt because it's the likeness of possibly a cipher. So we're gonna take a good amount of this and we're gonna use the stippling technique, and we're gonna just sewing machine on these nuts. You see? Now you can use black or strong tone. But I find that the soft tone that we're using really respects the nuts. And we're going to use that on we're not going to wash all the metal and like at all. Like we're not going to go just slap it on like we do sometimes. We want to maximize the gliteriness of the true metal. So just going to really isolate our wash approach to just pulling out some of these details and features. Because you could just wash it all, but you would sacrifice some of that glitter. In here, I might just kind of hit the whole inner ring. He's got some nuts up here and it's in a little recess, so I'm going to actually just kind of stipple inside this gutter. Let's flip it around. Warg, nah, it looks pimp coming from a DA for life. Hell yeah. Thanks, man. Let's get these nuts right here. Some spikes. There's some cool shit right here. Just kind of slap some wash in. Right there. Just kind of move it around. Let it get around all those things. Bring us a little bit of definition. Right back here. Get the nuts. Sneak in here. Let's get the little crotch cross. Let's get his chest thingy. You can kind of just push it around on this stuff. Rotate around. See if we can get the gutter on this shoulder pad. Now, I think we can use a little water here. And we should be able to take this onto this parchment now. Okay? We're going to go kind of hard at first. Use some of this water to kind of just smooth it out. So I'll kind of lower the opacity. You want to take some of it off of the flat areas with this technique. And it's trying to get all in this gutter here, so I'll just smooth that out. You see just a nice low opacity wash on the parchment. So don't let it get too built up. That's the trick, right? So you want to get it on there so we got max coverage like that. Then you want to take some of this water and just kind of stipple it on and just smooth it out. Keep your eye on where it's beating up. So you're basically lowering the opacity and letting gravity kind of push the wash around. There you go. And so this is light tone again. This light tone works really well for this kind of stuff. There we go. There's like a little lock up here. Look at that thing. Oh, there's some parchment inside of the book. I think that this dragging some wash in there might work. Not doing much. Maybe it's maybe a little bit more. We'll see. Major BJ. The crunch thingy is called the codpiece on middle of the armor. No, he actually has like a dangly cross. It's like it's literally just dangling there off his belt. It's just like swinging it around. Very dick-like. Okay, feeling that. So not overwashing the metals at all. We're just being pretty gentle. Rinse it. Switch to the big brush. Let's take a bunch of this stuff. Just going to stipple it on right here. So it gets all inside all of those feathers. Very washable piece of real estate. See, it just goes in there. So use a healthy amount. Stipple it on with light brush pressure. Just kind of manipulate it to get nice even coverage. All right, let's rinse the brush again. Leah Sanchez, how would you paint like flayed one's skin or a skin coat? I'd probably use some, you know, wet blending, and I mean, if I was gonna do a bunch of them with the airbrush, it's hard to say. That's a big question, Sanchez. It's a big question. It's hard to answer. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it would take 15 minutes to break it down. What was I looking for? Here's some dark tone, which is just black. So now we're going to bring some of the black wash in. Ooh, I got some gold in some places I shouldn't have. Uh-oh. I put a little on the bike that I shouldn't have. See, you got to be careful when you're doing this. See? Yo, who that? Steve? I feel like using this brush is just kind of a trap here. Thank you for the raid, Steve. And we're going to try to lay some of that wash here. This is dark tone. We're going to use it also to pen wash some of these nuts. So we're just using a lot of different hobby tools right now. Some right there. Just using the tip of my brush, keeping it kind of wet. Sanchez, you're unhappy with anything? You're unhappy with anything you find how to paint? You want it to look really disgusting? I mean, that's tricky, right? That's tricky. I feel like if you could just make it look like skin, that's a great starting place. And then after that, anything else you do to it, bonus effect. Biggest advice I give someone is don't try to bake any effects into the process. Just try to paint it like it's perfect skin, and then do something to it after. So just keeping it kind of wet and moving it around. Just kind of using some stippling techniques. Stippling on these nuts. Always wash them nuts, guys. A little bit right here. Stipple on these nuts. Should be able to put a little bit here in the red. Get a nice border going. Using the tip of our brush. Let's get inside of here. Using the tip of your brush, kind of a little heart pull strategy. Pretty easy. Tips of the bolters. Well, the trick is to let some of it get on the red too. so that you have a nice little border between the silver and the red. Up here. Shout out to Rusty Shackle. Thank you for the follow. There's also some tiny little nuts on the bolters casing. We're going to pin wash those too. Let's get this chain. And this is all just dark silver now with a wash on it. Using Army Painter dark tone. See how the chain just jumps out at you now? Get a little bit of that light tone. Right there. All right. Be a little bit right here. Get this gun. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. We gotta do the red here. Using the tip of the brush, slice into those little gutters. Using the heart pull. All right, rinse the brush. Okay, so we got to do the tires. That's a major element of the model we still haven't really messed with. We got to finish this doodad up here. Oh, we got, you know what we got to do? Let's get some more. We got to just jam some wash, some black wash right here. I'm using the big brush for this. Let it kind of get into those recesses. Help with some contrast there in the tailpipe. Same thing right here. Get some water, and we're just going to kind of soften and stipple into this area. So now you can see these rings appearing there. Soften that right there. There's also like a diamond plate pattern. Here. Hard to see that on. Right here. Just want to get that. Alright. Let's figure out the tires real quick. Well, that sets up. So currently we have cool blacks happening, right? So we might go. What is that? God damn it! That's black blue. That was a mistake. Or was it? Or was it? My coal black. Gladiator just gifted 5 subs to the chat. Can I get some strong man love? Gladiator, thank you so much. It's 500 bonus yo dogs to Gladiator. If you just got gifted a sub because Gladiator is a true legend, shout that man out. So here is some coal black. So let's experiment. Black, blue, and coal black. And green. Going pretty hot and heavy here. Cricks. What's up, man? We're using high opacity, low moisture, heart pull right here. Guys, remember tire black. So this is kind of like a ghetto tire black. Okay. So it's this color right here. So coal black, blue black, so green. So we want the tires to be nice and dark, but a different dark than the rest of the model. There we go. High opacity. Just a minimum amount of ambient moisture that my wet palette provides. Gladiator says, "You're the bomb, man." Well, you're the bomb. Thank you. Letting that dry for a second. Leah Sanchez, is the green just to make the black different shade? Mostly, yeah. But also, I'm inspired by an old color called tire black, which is basically rubber black. And so, black rubbers tend to have a bit of green in them. It's barely perceivable, but it's there. So I'll let that dry before we fuck with it any further. But yeah, but also that, Sanchez. Gladiator says, "I respect the knowledge you possess, man." Thank you, Gladiator. I respect that you give me money. And that you say nice things about me. Alright. So, we can get a little bit cuter too. So, here's some red tone. This is also a Army Painter wash. So when you're washing, remember the objective is make the dark stuff darker, but also a filter will occur, so you get to kind of play with that. So here's some of that light tone and some of that red tone. Right here. So we kind of mix the light tone with the red tone. So I'm getting this orangey red kind of hue. Almost purpley. I'll take a touch of the black wash. And I'll wash this thing. Remember we pseudo highlighted this thing, but this thing is very washable. So it's going to find its way into all those little recesses. Looks nice. Take some of that, right? Maybe right here. Maybe these purity seals. That's it. Recoil? Yeah, there's some gold on here. On that little spot. Temeki. Chat couldn't see it last night, but I was beating my dick so hard watching y'all play. Shout out to Temeki. Temeki was emceeing our live battle report last night. Where's Matt at, Temeki? He went instantly radio silent after he lost the championship belt. Let's go back to the little brush, Temeki. Get a real haircut. What's up, brother? How you doing? We're doing all right, man. Let's take some of the black wash and the small brush. Just sling some in here. Using the tip of our brush, some stippling and some heart pulling. Look how good that looks when you make those channels darker like that. Probably finishing up a video for the main channel. Yeah, I think he said he had to stay up late and do a video. It was awesome to hang out with you guys last night. 6 p.m. Monday. Crazy time. It's fun as hell. All right, we're making progress, guys. We're going places. Get a real haircut. Get a real haircut. I love you, man. He says, please tell me you just painted it black and did the edge highlights. No. We modulated, but I showed people like on a bigger surface like this how much real estate, if you want to do a modulated black, how much work it is to keep that much black still intact. You have to keep it not gray. So we did modulate the black, but with very small sections, tiny, to make it kind of look shiny. Diminishing return, honestly, but I like to show all the stuff, you know. Thrith72, thank you for the follow. Astral Bear TV, who's on top of the meta right now? I haven't been able to follow the scene since my son was born. Harlequins are really good. Tyranids are probably the best right now. But you still got a lot of the usual suspects in the top mix. But Tyranids are kind of the current heat right now. Tyranids. Alright, let's get some... before we go back to any true metallic, let's do something real quick. Let's get... I already have green out here. Let's go old school here, okay? So I kind of just like place held. Let me lock the obesity cradle. So this blood drop, I just place held it with like a blue, but we're gonna use green. And so I teach this effect in my 201 curriculum. Now I'm just going to show you a teardrop, but I actually teach the jeweled effect in its entirety in my lesson plan. So it's green right now. All we have to do is take some white into our green. And you don't even have to do any blending on this scale. If I just do it like this, like if I just make a respectfully brighter green, and then bottom right, I just kind of raw dog a high opacity, low moisture, cell shaded highlight like that down there. Then I'll take some of the black and I'll mirror that on the top kind of left quadrant here, using the heart pull strategy. Pure raw dog opacity. If you leave it like that and you don't do another thing to it, okay? And we just take some pure white now. And we take the very tip of our brush. Put some pure white there and a dot here. You can pretty much sell that to anyone as a jeweled teardrop. Now, it's pretty aggressive, so if you set it up like this and you want it to be sexier, then all you do is you take the green again, right? Maybe lower the opacity a little bit. There's a little bit more water in there than there was before. Go back to the green mid-tone here with lower opacity and kind of just blend that cell shade. Let it dry for a second. Maybe run back to that highlight. It's not, and we're keeping it just a little on the wet side. And now we've got it nice and blended. There you go. Now, if you want to blend the black part, same thing. Take some of the black and the green mixed together. And you can just kind of blur that tide line as well. There it is. And that uses the high opacity, low moisture heart pulse technique from our edge highlighting class, a little bit of our glaze editing from that same lesson, and our jeweled effect from our 201 effects curriculum. Remember, guys, if you're new here, you're going to have to @ me if you want me to see your questions while I'm painting. Astral Bear TV, you're welcome. Trith, who followed, our first-time chatter, says, sisters are looking good, too. Sister, well, I mean, everyone who got a bump from Armor of Contempt got better. So, yeah. They definitely have a bump right now. Now, let's go back to the tires for a split second. I think I'll use my chisel tip here. Oh, yeah, I'm going to use my chisel tip dry brush. So, black, blue, green. I'm going to make it a little bit more aggressive. And what I'll do is I'll take white to make it brighter. More black to knock it back down and desaturate it more. Maybe a little yellow. Something like that. Looking for my paper towel. Let's just get that nice and dry. And we're going to just lightly go down against the grain. Directionally. So catching that rail. With a very subtle highlight. The dry brush technique. The trick is you don't want to go on too bright too fast. Just a little bit. And you want to kind of go just top down. It'll catch those little raised edges. Back here, let's get a little more white. Maybe something like this. Gotta relocate chisel tip. Something kids are calling it now. I'll just make shit up, dog. So now we're going much brighter, so really just dry it off to respect it. Light brush pressure, just kiss it. All right, now we're gonna go back to our little brush and some of this dark tone. Maybe a little water. We're gonna take this. And we're gonna go inside this groove right here. With the tip of our brush. Trying to use a heart pull position where we're just using the tip of our brush and pulling straight back to our heart. Just using light brush pressure and letting it transfer into there. So using a lot of old school techniques. This is a lot of 101 curriculum stuff here. We've been doing a lot of advanced effects lately on the channel. We've been doing a lot of non-metal effects, a lot of web blending. And so this is just a good old-fashioned 101 airbrush, edge highlight, metal wash kind of situation. Like the old school. There we go. Tip of the brush. When you got that much moisture in your brush, it just wants to go in that gutter there. So don't push it. You know, just let it happen. A little bit of a sewing machine stroke. With a slight pull back to your heart to keep it inside the lines. And so you see, it just gives us that extra layer of dimension. Recoil, my dude. Can't see him? You cannot see this guy. Recoil all day, every day. It's the man, the myth, the legend right there. Cool. Mom's Club, unite. Talon is also a member of that club. So you see how it's just a little bit of a layering process. Like it gives it a little bit more texture. What it looks like what's going on inside those strips is underneath it. And we brought it back to more of a black. Just a little fun accent. Warg, love your ability to mix colors. My color theory is shit. Dog, I break it down pretty easy, brother. If you take my classes, you will see how secretly easy it is. Rocket Chicken. Oh my god. Rocket Chicken is an old schooler. Okay. Feeling pretty good about that. Now, let's go back to our parchment, okay? I don't know what I have over here. Is this white? White with a little yellow in it, maybe? Just gonna touch some of these edges on the parchment. Love Minis. This is Love Mini's official soundtrack. This is her theme song, her entry music, as it were, when she enters the octagon. We're using some heart pulls, Love Minis. I'm just kind of bringing some of those points back out on the parchment. But all in all, the light tone did a great job of making the parchment feel like paper. I'm using high opacity, doing a little tracing technique right there. Let's rotate back this way. Trace technique right there. Alright, happy with that. Now, since I'm messing with the parchment, what is the name of the song? I mean, I feel like an animal. It's literally called Animal by Vice Tone. Alright, I'm going to take some black, thin it down. Tip of my brush. Let's see if we can get some squigglies on here. So you want to use the very tip of your brush and just do like Morse code. Don't fight it, right? Load it up. Make sure you've got some paint transferring. You want to do like Morse code. You don't want to do like straight lines. You want to do more like stipples, and you want to break them up. Okay, you want to have a very small amount of thin paint on the tip of your brush. Light brush pressure, and more of a sewing machine stroke. And I'm using the heart pull directional theory, where I'm moving back to my heart. Keep the lines parallel to each other. Keeping it real subtle, right? Because if you don't want these huge fat black lines ruining the parchment. You want to break it up so it's like it's written on there. Okay. Or pigment like more COD, almost like you want to get into ham radio. Get the Morse code. No, they don't do Morse code on ham radio. They talk on ham radio, dude. It's like the whole point. But they were doing Morse code, I'd respect it. Like, they're doing a thing we own. We already have phones, Like, Morse code is the thing I can't really do on my phone. I can see that being fun, but, like, they're like, we're talking on radios instead of phones. Some boomer shit right there. Get some little lines on this one. Rottweiler says, ham radio discussion. Here we go. Ham radio discussion. Disengage. Shout out to Rottweiler, bringing some support to the channel. Appreciate it, brother. Now, Rottweiler, I'm going to grab some red. Wolfgrave says, ham radio can't be tracked by Google, though. I mean, sure. If you have an actual radio and you just literally use that in your tower in your backyard. But you know what most of these guys are doing, Wolfgrave? Is they're using these like 20-year-old plugins to pipe it all through a fucking like boomer ham radio chat room so they can all check in and get little high scores with each other. And that's all piping through their boomer computers. And they have terrible internet security habits. You know what I'm saying? Rawa says, everything can be tracked today. You need a jitterbug flip phone. That's right. Gladiator, what's the Tuesday whip thing about? What do you mean? You mean Frozen Hobbit? Says Rottweiler and I worked it out. Wedding is back on and we're going to couples counseling. Nice. Hugs and kisses. Frozen Hobbit and Rottweiler both are my students. They're both painting Space Wolves, and they're supposed to be having a Tuesday whip out. Love minis. CBs were more fun. 10-4, some bitch pop monkey nuts. Making some strong woman love for love minis. Yeah, get a real haircut, right? Pretty sure it'd be easy to have an algorithm to listen to ham radio. Well, since your cell phone is already listening to you, if it's anywhere near your ham radio station, I'm just saying. Let's grab some red Love Minis. Red is Love Mini's favorite color. And what we're going to do is try to stipple in like a little square. Right there. I'll take some black into that red just to make a darker red. And what I'm going to try to do is kind of box that little square out a little bit. There you go. And now this is like kind of a desaturated purple, like the wax seals. But I might take a little white right now. And a little red to make it pink. Just to accentuate that. Rottweiler, the man. Make it a little shinier. No, I don't agree to the session of counseling sessions. He hits me with sticks, very abusive. Allegedly. So now we've got some cool little text on the purity seals. We'll put a red box on this one right here. Do our black-red Rottweiler. Very tip of the brush. Try to frame it out. There you go. So I'm not going to do it on every single one, just like a one on each side, you see? So now our purity seals look really cool. Since I'm messing around with pure white over here, let me take a second crack at these wings. Kind of fucked that one up. Let's get a little black, make it gray. Thank you, Wolf Grade, for the follow. Wolf Grade for the follow. Kind of got out of bounds on this one. A little bit more white. Why is that so hard to do? This one feather is like kind of janky. Let's get a little bit more black. I'm seeing if I can get in there and just kind of reestablish the shadow. There we go. Good enough. All right. We've got some leather straps that we've never dealt with. I think I've got some brown out here somewhere. What the fuck is this? Is this transparent brown? Maybe? I just got some random transparent brown and ochre. Maybe a little white. We're using it. You know, as high opacity as I can get from that mix. And we're just dropping a couple little highlights off right here on the leather that you can't see because it's so fucking dark. Right here. See that? All right. With it, let's sort out the. All right, let's get some metallics back down the table. I'm putting some bright gold down, and I'm going to put some white gold down. Okay? Actual white gold, Gen 1. What I'm going to do here is maybe mix them together slightly. And there's a couple of edges I really want to pop out. So we want to go extremely brighter. And I'm using a modified tracer technique. I'm using the tip of my brush, kind of scraping that plane. That outer sidewall right there. Get a nice sharp line in there. A little bit on his knee pad right there. Turn the light down just a little bit. Right there. A bit right there. Straight up white gold. Let's get some on this gauntlet. Try to keep the opacity pretty high. Oh, got some of the leather by accident. Shout out to, is that Shodan Reaper, thank you for the follow. And Havoc coming in 24 months, 31 months total. What's up, brother? Just bringing a little white gold in, Havoc. Just kind of scraping the sharp lines. Trying to get this. He's got like a little cross piece right here. High opacity, low moisture. Rotate in here. Looking for the tracer technique. Right here. Get a little bit more bright gold in the mix. Put a little on top of that thing. Right there. All right, gotta clean a couple of things up. Rinse the brush. Let's get some of that gold. And there's a little belt buckle in here on these leather straps. Gonna really just carefully touch the actual frame. Right there. Havoc says, you've always been an amazing painter, but it's so cool to see you've gotten even better over time, and I've been chilling with you. That's awesome, man. Thanks. I do feel like I've gotten better doing this with you guys. Let's grab some more white gold. Let's get this edge going. Right here, just sharpen that up a little bit. There we go. Let's go to his little iron halo situation. High opacity, low moisture. I got a little bit more bright gold than white gold in the mix. See, we're just trying to like augment it. Running some tracers. Where's that brush? Senpai Namura? What's up? Let's make sure, let's get a little of that bright gold right here on this lock. Now, we've got this guy. So you can like just dry brush that. There's a lot of things you can do on that thing. What I'm gonna try to do is just manually get it done. So I'm gonna try bright gold. And if I'm careful, I should be able to kind of just get the wings myself. Like so. I'm just using the bright gold right now. High opacity, low moisture. This is a kind of a trickier angle right here. So we're just kind of making things a little bit more poppy. We'll grab the white gold now. That was just bright gold. Here's white gold. And it hasn't even dried yet, so this is almost like we're wet blending. Now we can put a little bit more wash back into play too to fix any mistakes we made. Let's get the head of this skeleton thing. Just drag it across the ribs. Let's rinse it down. Now, this side, just for experimenting, let's use our big dry brush real quick. And let's see what you can get with the big Monument Hobbies dry brush. Pretty good. Right, here's some white gold. So you could just do it like that in 2 seconds. If you wanted to. A little bit right there. A little bit right here. Alright, I fucked up in a couple places. Grab some black. Right there, I think I saw some mistake right here. Huh. Oh, shit, I don't see it. Oh, right here. I'm going to add some black to my gold and get the lower shelf right here. Alright. Alright. Now, since I'm over here messing with this black gold I just made, let's go right here. That should be fun. He's also got these little spikes on the backpack right there. So I just took the bright gold and mixed black into it. I'm just like touching those little backpack ball spikes. Senpai. What's up, man? Nocturnal. He says, what company do I recommend for dry paints? What do you mean? What the fuck is a dry paint? That sounds like pigment. Talking about pigments? Like pigment powders? Grab some of that bright gold and white gold real quick. Pigment powder. So, I mean, AK Interactive makes good ones. Also, Shadow's Edge, I think, makes them. Like one of our sponsors, he does bases. Shadow's Edge Miniatures. But you can't go wrong with AK Interactive. They got a whole wide variety of them. Frozen Hobbit. Just give this up to Lethal Shadow Gaming. Let me get some love in the chat for Frozen Hobbit. Guys, this has been a pretty long session. We've been deep diving on this guy. Just doing some visual inspections. I'm going to get some dark silver. Fuck my dark silver at. You guys know how this is. I feel like I put it away. I was like sort of putting paints away the other day. And I got bored halfway through and I was like, eh. And now, of course, I can't find my shit. But how different is that than any other day? So I got some dark silver out here to fix this little patch of gold right here. Oh shit. Rottweiler says, fuck you, Frozen. Stop yelling at me in Discord. I need a safe place. Stop yelling at him in Discord, man. Come on. Thank you, Rottweiler. Rottweiler, I'm taking metallic mixing medium, which is essentially metallic white, and mixing it with our dark silver, making it brighter. We get some strong man love in the chat for Rottweiler. If you just think about metallic as just, you know, a pigment with glitter in it, the whole thing gets a lot easier. Right there. So we just made it like a brighter metallic silver. Up here on the barrels. And I find that metallic, true metallic paint is really easy to edge highlight because it doesn't care if you're kind of rough on it. It doesn't seem to mind if you're just a little ham-fisted. Some highlights on those barrels. That right there. A little bit right there. Right here. That little nameplate doodad. A little bit on the chains. I'm just going to kind of skirt down the chains a little bit. Right there. He's got all sorts of buttons and shit in there too we gotta mess with. View screen right here we gotta touch. Bring some highlight in. Oh, it was behind that thing the whole time. Tight. We rinse the brush. We take some black and white. I think I've got black and white still. See it kind of right here. I think I can kind of get away with a quick. Line right there. there. Let me get a little more black. Let's take some green and some white and just do a quick placeholder. Using the heart pull, high opacity, low moisture. So he's got a little screen in there. He's also got some buttons under it. Paint one of at least one of them green. We'll grab some red and paint one red. He's got a little button here. I'll paint this one red. And right here. Got some blue right here, so I bet if I put some blue and some white in there, it's a black blue, but I probably can get blue enough for one of the buttons. So then we gotta do that little view screen and stuff like that. But yeah. Alright, so you guys ready for a whip session? Got an hour and 8 minutes left in the show. We've kind of rapid fire, did a lot of things real quick. We did a lot of bonus effects like super fast. We did some text on those parchments real quick for you guys using the heart pull strategy. We did a little gem jeweled effect on that thingy. We did some dry brushing, some edge highlighting, some pin washing. This guy is a beast. Love him. It's hard to balance the reflective quality of the true metals and the black, the ultra black, you know. Now he's looking real good. I think one of the first things I need to do real quick, Gladiator, is we need to finish off the dry brush. I need to get these tires to look a little bit sharper. These tires. You know, now that I look at them, I think I'm fine with them. No, I'm gonna let it ride. No, I'll put like pigment powder on it if I need to do anything. Yeah, I'm fine with them. I'm gonna let them ride now that I've taken a second look at it. So we're gonna jump into the base. So I want to get the base sorted, and so I want to do kind of like a nice rock. He's got this nice rock base. And I'm gonna paint that up, and then I'll put the pumice on it. You can see it here. I'll do the pumice after I paint this thing. So I glued the guy to the thing, right? But I have a feeling I can pop him off. Let's see. Did I use super glue? Did I use super glue? I think there's a peg in there. I don't know why I glued this on. This is a mistake. I was in a rush. I wonder if I can get him off carefully. I'm going to just kind of give it a gentle nudge right here. Move some shit out of the splash zone. A little bit of gentle back pressure. Okay, that's a step in the right direction. Even though I took this whole thing off. That's a good step in the right direction. Because I think this might give me better access. Because, god damn it, this will be so much easier to paint if he's not glued on it. Okay, so I think I used plastic glue. And I shredded both of the tabs. That's fine. I think I scuffed them right here with my finger. I'm gonna lay him down somewhere safe. Helldrake. Or Feldrake. Fuck it. I'll glue it on later. So let's just get wily. We use our big brush. Havoc? Yeah, you can freeze models to break the glue bonds. Just unfortunately don't have time to go freeze this guy right now. So I'm putting some black down. Man, fuck this. So I'm gonna just mess around, okay? Some black, some blue, some white. Got all sorts of colors here. It don't matter. You'll see. So we'll take some of this black using this big dry brush. Just put it on nice and wet. I'll take some of this blue, some of this white, even some of this ochre. I'm gonna get weird with it, okay? Some ochre, some brown. While it's still black, kind of wet, we'll just bring this in. Like this. Okay. That's a good starting place. I'll switch to my other brush. Now, I know I can see these rocks from the sides, so we're going to take the same color. And we're just going to walk into this rock here. And we're gonna pull these rocks out of the paint job, you see? And it's still just wet enough that I can get a little bit of a blur here. I'll grab white, maybe a little water. So we've made it kind of like a weird. We made gray and then we added blue and like browns and yellows to it. I'm gonna moisten it up a little bit. I'm gonna do a little stippling right here. Using some capillary effect right here, using the moisture. Some more white right here. Like that. Move on, let's get this one. I'm going to stipple it right there. Okay, pick this puddle up again. See this rock right here? It's this kind of crack that runs in there. Stipple in some black right here. Some white. Too easy. I don't know how much. Like you're not gonna see all the way through the thing, but definitely you see some of these rocks coming out the side. So we're just laying it on kind of opaque right there. We're gonna moisten it up a little bit. Grab maybe some of this brown black mix. A little bit of moisture now. A little more white. Right there. Spend a few seconds on this. The tire glue's right there, so I'm not too worried about that. Yo, my man Warg in the chat. Warg, my dude, what's up, brother? Can I get some strong man love for Warg? Warg, I'm gonna just kind of quickly run around this section right here. Get a little moisture. Get some black in the mix. Just kind of quickly stipple in here. Most of that's under the bike. Bring a little bit of white back in. Keeping it kind of hot and heavy, Warg. Just kind of pushing it into that moisture to dissolve into that fuzzy tide line. Like so. Move over here. Stipple in some black, moist black, brown mix. Right there. Tag it with a little white right here, Warg. Pick up that puddle. Some of that moist blackish brown. Just gonna soften it right there. Pick up a little white. Right there. Secretly easy technique right here, guys. Pick some of that moist black brown up. Some of that white. More white. A little more moisture. So, getting some nice effects here with about 8 minutes left. Let's get this rock right here. Let's get some of that brown black kind of mix going right here. Keeping it kind of wet. Get that dispersal with some stippling. A little bit of white. Right there. Just get some of that darkness in there. Some white. This big rock right here, mostly under the bike, but you can still see it slightly. Just going to kind of disperse right here with some hardcore stipples. Some white. See, as it dries, you got a nice little kind of textured shading effect going on here with a range of colors that are somewhat natural. Run over some white, mostly white, you know, whatever this is. Let's run it back here with a quick tracer. High opacity, low moisture. Hold your breath, swing it from right to left. There's a touch of blue in here too. We're just riding this rail, putting a nice hard line on this. Like so. This is easy. Just always rotate the model, keep it on that path. This shit is secretly easy. I teach this in my private classes too, in 201, this technique. Shadow Minion says, Jesus, you make all this look so easy. Painting is secretly easier than you think it is. You gotta know the procedures and the techniques. So I teach a lot of the techniques in the first 3 classes, and then when you graduate 201, it's all about the effects. Alright, so that's kind of round 1 of the base. Now what we got to do is slice in here with a heart pull. This is one of our techniques. Tip of the brush, pull back to your heart, rotate. Help you make a straight line. High opacity, low moisture. Sneak in here, we can do a quick tracer, bring it back. Rotate, you can do a little tracer here. We're going to do a little heart pull right here. Tip of the brush, pull back. Do a little tracer, I think, here. A little heart pull right there. High opacity, low moisture. Now, there's a bunch of cracks here, so we want to do this side of them. Some of those got a little wacky, so we're just gonna go back in time and soften those with our mid-tone that we were using earlier. Guys, we only have about 3.5 minutes left in our model giveaway today. Ash Media, the wet blending looks so easy using gel medium paint like Skill 75 or watercolors. No, man, it's just straight up water and acrylic paint, dog. That's the secret. The secret is the reason acrylic exists is because it's a fast drying advanced technology. You don't need anything else. You just need water. And you need to learn how to get fast. And getting fast is based on understanding moisture behavior, and I teach that in my private classes. That's like a big focus. Making it dry slower just makes everything take slower. The whole reason I like acrylic paints is fast. Still got more to do. We have no overtime on the clock. We have about 2.5 minutes. Heart pull. Always rotate the model to facilitate what you're trying to do. So tip of the brush, high opacity, low moisture. Try to drag back to your heart. Rotate here. So I'm not going to do much more than that because you can't really see in there further. But what we'll do now with 2 minutes left is we'll grab some black. So we're going to make the black semi-opaque and kind of wet. Okay? And we're going to use the heart pull again. And we're going to put the tip of the brush inside the recesses and pull back. Like so. Semi-opaque, kind of wet. Heart pool. And then we're going to make the dark stuff darker now. About a minute 16 left in our top D giveaway for our giveaway model today. Thank you guys for your support. The tips mean the world to me. Thank you for finding value in my content. So got some nice rocks right there. We got 42 minutes left on the clock. No overtime. If overtime goes in the clock, I'll show you something else. 23 seconds left on the clock. Really simple breakdown. Replay says the asphalt looks awesome. Thanks, man. Right now, Rottweiler on top. Final 10 seconds. And there it is.
You gotta get swifty in here. It's time to get swifty. Uh-oh. You gotta get swifty. Oh, yeah. Take off your pants and
write
your
this down.
panties. Shit on the floor.
Rottweiler, Mostro, Warg. I love minis. Thank you guys so much. Rottweiler wins the Booty Warrior. And you guys all get Monument Hobbies and you give bags. Thank you. Appreciate the support, guys. Congratulations to Rottweiler. And here's our cool little asphalt base. Now, you can just get away with like a quick hobo dry brush probably on this stuff right here. I'm just kind of picking up that mid-tone with this big round brush that we were using. That texture is real easy right there. Like dry it up real good. There's like ammo casings and stuff on it. But we got to put pumice on the base too to kind of seal the base to the pumice, so we got to do a little bit of work there. So look, I'll just take some gold real quick. So you can see these details before we get out of here. A couple little ammo casings. Make sure you tighten the fart hose in the Booty Warrior so there's a leak in the mail. That's right, Repray. And so we're back to putting this thing back on the base, assuming I can find my glue. This thing clogged. This thing is always clogged, I swear. I swear my super glue is always... Is it? Oh, this is like my dried up one. Where the hell is my new one? Why don't I throw away stuff when it's dead? Why am I constantly doing that? Now, here's an old one. This thing feels heavy as hell. Is there actually glue in here? This thing, I haven't seen this thing in like a fucking decade. I was sort of cleaning my office yesterday. Oh, that thing is so clogged. Where the hell? No, that's brand new. Don't open new one. Alright. I'm just gonna have to find it. Just gonna have to fucking find it. Where am I putting stuff? Guys, where do I put shit when I'm not streaming? I don't get it. Alright, I think I found it. It's right in front of me. And okay, so every single one of them universally clogged. I want to get them on there so I don't forget between streams. I feel like it was this way because I think I tore some of the plastic. Yep, look. Good as new. Nailed it. And so I just have to put a little pumice on this guy like I was saying. I'll use probably just I'll probably just use this right here, and I'll show you guys real quick before we get out of here. I've got a paintbrush that's already kind of fucked up from this. So all I'm gonna do with this stuff is kind of use it to like weld the seam. And I'm down to get some on the asphalt too. That doesn't bother me. Just to kind of link it together. And I'd like to do this after. So then all I have to do is paint this stuff with some washes and stuff. I don't want to... Like the whole advantage to this kind of pumice is that it's already the color you want it. So you just kind of want to push it into that seam on that lip and get a nice blend going there. And I paint, and I mean, my whole Blood Angels army is done this way. Like, my Blood Angels army doesn't have any resin bases. It's all GW blanks. And I've been using this on them the whole time. Get it inside that little seam. Pile it in there real good. Get a nice blend going. Cover this break right here. Sanchez, try gluing on a dull syringe tip to glue bottle. Oh, that's smart. Can use a lighter to open it. Or I could put the caps back on. I never put the caps on. They're just constantly air drying. So that I ride, I usually just try to get some off the edge while it's still kind of wet. And so we'll let that dry. And then probably on the webinar on Thursday, we'll get back to it. Look how sick. So I'll finish this on the webinar on Wednesday. If you guys want to stay tuned for that, you know, you gotta join Patreon for that. Let me put this Chaplain down. We're good, guys.